A full-blown, ear-splitting Karen meltdown over a coupon, and no, I'm not exaggerating. She was shrieking like the world had personally betrayed her. You guys will not believe what went down at the grocery store that day. I was stuck in aisle 3 pretending to browse pasta sauce when the chaos hit. There she was, a pale, stocky woman in her mid-50s, faux fur jacket, haircut, screaming, "Can I speak to your manager?" and every bit of entitlement cranked to 11. She was tearing into the cashier over, get this, $1 off coupon. Her face was practically vibrating with rage, and her shrieks echoed through the store like a warning siren. Matthias, of course, noticed immediately. That mischievous glint in his eye, you know the one, told me something legendary was about to happen. He started inching toward the checkout line like a predator closing in on prey, grin spreading across his face, and I knew. Karen was about to get rebranded, and the entire store was about to witness it. Now Matthias, bless his opportunistic heart, has always got a trick up his sleeve. I saw his eyes light up, a mischievous little glint sparking as he watched Karen's performance. He slowly started moving towards the checkout, a wide, almost theatrical grin spreading across his face. I knew that look. Oh boy, something was about to go down. He walked right up to Karen, his voice dripping with exaggerated awe, loud enough for everyone in the immediate vicinity to hear. "Oh my God," he practically gushed, clapping a hand over his mouth. "Kai, do you know who this is?" "No, wait, seriously. This is Missani Bottoms, the most famous vintage corn star in all of Sweden." The entire line went silent. Karen, who'd been mid-rant, froze, her mouth agape. Her pale face, already flushed with anger, somehow managed to turn an even deeper shade of crimson. She looked completely bewildered, like a deer caught in headlights, trying to compute this utterly bizarre accusation. Matthias wasn't done. Oh no, he was just warming up. He turned to the bewildered cashier, lowering his voice conspiratorially but still loud enough for Karen to catch every word. "You guys don't know, she's an icon, a pioneer. Her work redefined erotic art in the late 80s. I mean, who could forget the Fjords of Desire or her groundbreaking performance in Viking Voyage? She won, 3 Golden Nipple Awards." He was practically vibrating with fake excitement, gesturing dramatically towards a shell-shocked Karen. "Her body of work is legendary. She truly paved the way for so many others. You have to know Missani Bottoms." Karen's eyes were darting wildly around the store, desperately searching for an escape, a hole to crawl into. She tried to stammer out a denial, something like, I don't know what you're talking about." "That's absurd," but Matthias just steamrolled right over her. "Oh, Missani, don't be so modest. You're famous. Own it. We're all your biggest fans here." The cashier, who had gone from terrified to utterly confused, was now trying to suppress a giggle. Her eyes were wide with disbelief and a healthy dose of "what the hell is happening right now?" Meanwhile, I was biting my lips so hard I thought I'd draw blood, desperately trying not to explode into laughter. Karen, realizing she was caught in this bizarre, inescapable web of Matthias's making, completely crumbled. Her face was a mask of utter humiliation. She let out a small, strangled gasp, abandoned her shopping cart, coupon and all, and scurried out the door as fast as her unseasonably warm faux fur jacket would allow. The moment the automatic doors swooshed shut behind her, the cashier looked at Matthias, her eyes still wide. "So that lady is a corn star," she whispered, clearly still reeling. Matthias just shrugged, a picture of innocence. "Nah, I have no idea who that bitch was." And that was it. Matthias and I looked at each other, and then we just burst out laughing, right there in the middle of the grocery store. It was one of those uncontrollable, gut-aching laughs that leaves you breathless. We ended up buying our pasta sauce, still chuckling all the way home. It just goes to show, sometimes a little creativity and a lot of audacious humor are all you need to turn a mundane day, and a typical Karen encounter, into an absolutely unforgettable legend. And hey, you never know, maybe next time we'll run into another Karen who thinks she's famous, and we can do it all over again.
Okay, real talk, if you're still here after 2 of these chaotic Reddit tales, you're probably one of us. Go ahead, hit subscribe. It's free chaos every episode. Now, let's dive into story number 3.
Okay, so I once accidentally assaulted someone in a grocery store. Yeah, you heard me. And honestly, I don't regret my reaction one bit, even if the execution was a little extreme. let me tell you how it all went down. My mom had a nasty accident at work, nothing life-threatening, but it put her out of commission for a bit. She was home, healing, and honestly, I was stressed. I was basically her stand-in for everything, including running errands. This particular day, I had a list of essentials as long as my arm, and I needed to get in and out of that damn store faster than a greased pig at a county fair. My mom was waiting in pain, and I was just buzzing with anxiety, trying to be efficient. You know that frantic energy, right? Every second felt amplified. I was beelining through the aisles, grabbing things, practically power walking, trying to avoid the usual cart jockeys and slowpokes. I ducked down a slightly less crowded aisle, focused on my next item when I spotted it, a display of those old-fashioned cream sodas. The ones in the glass bottles. For a split second, a little wave of nostalgia washed over me, a tiny break in the stress. You know what? I thought, Mom could use a treat, and hell, so could I. So I grabbed a couple. The cool glass feeling nice in my hand, and tossed them into my almost full basket. I was reaching for a can of diced tomatoes when I first felt it, not a touch but a presence. Someone was right behind me, too close. I heard a little hum, a clear-your-throat sound like they were trying to get my attention. My shoulders tensed. I didn't turn around. I just instinctively pulled my shopping basket a little tighter to my chest, subtly shifting closer to the shelf, trying to put more space between us without making a scene. I just wanted them to go away. I just wanted to finish my shopping. Another hum, a little louder this time. My heart started to pick up. I could feel their breath practically on my neck. My grip on the soda bottles tightened. I was already on edge, remember, my fight or flight was twitching. I tried to just ignore them, hoping they'd move on, assume I hadn't heard. Big mistake. Suddenly, a hand clamped down on my left shoulder. Not a gentle tap, not a polite touch. It was a grab, a firm, demanding, uninvited grab. That was it. That was the last straw for my frayed nerves. Everything went red. A terrified, guttural yell ripped out of me before I even registered what I was doing. My left hand, still clutching one of those heavy glass cream soda bottles, flailed out in pure instinctual panic. I wasn't aiming, I wasn't thinking, I was just reacting to being suddenly, unexpectedly touched. There was a sickening crack, a solid thud of glass on, well, I assumed it was their head. The hand instantly released me. I heard a choked gasp, a sort of grunt, and the distinct sound of someone stumbling backward. My brain finally caught up to my body. Oh, my God, I just hit someone with a glass bottle in a grocery store. The sheer horror of it, combined with the lingering adrenaline, sent me into full flight mode. I dropped the shopping basket with a clatter, the cans and bottles spilling onto the floor, and just bolted. I ran like the hounds of hell were on my heels, not looking back, sprinting through the aisles past bewildered shoppers and out the automatic doors. I practically launched myself into my mom's car, slamming the door and gasping, "Go, Mom, just drive, now." She must have seen the absolute terror on my face because she didn't argue, just peeled out of that parking lot faster than I've ever seen her drive. We didn't slow down until we were halfway home, and it wasn't until we were safely in our driveway that I could finally string enough words together to tell her what had happened. My mom, bless her, looked me over. "Aubrey, what's on your shoulder?" she asked, her brows furrowed. I looked down, and there, stark against my skin, were several red, angry scratches. The person's fingernails. That proved it wasn't a gentle tap, they'd really grabbed me. The physical evidence made my mom's face harden. We pieced it together. They probably saw me, maybe thought I was an employee because of my plain t-shirt or the way I was moving with purpose. And instead of just, asking for help or saying, "Excuse me," they just cleared their throat and then grabbed me. The complete lack of respect for personal space, the entitlement to just put their hands on a stranger, had triggered my already stressed out, anxious self into a full-blown panic reaction. I still feel a pang of guilt that someone got a glass bottle to the head. I really do hope they were okay, or at least learned a valuable lesson. But what I really learned is that my instinct to protect my personal space is valid, and that strangers have absolutely no right to touch you without permission. It's a fundamental boundary. If you need someone's attention, use your words, don't grab. Because you never know who's on edge or what kind of reaction you're going to get when you violate that space. So yeah, next time you're in a store and you need help, just ask. Seriously, it can save a lot of headaches, literally. Thanks for listening to my tale of grocery store chaos. Catch you next time.
All right, Reddit, buckle up, because I still can't quite believe this happened. You know those days at the airport where you're just trying to keep your head down, get to your gate, and maybe snag a questionable coffee before boarding? Yeah, that was me. I was just another anonymous face in the sea of travelers, in my comfy hoodie and faded jeans, absolutely not wearing any kind of uniform, when a woman decided I was her personal baggage handler. I just found a relatively quiet spot near an information desk, not at it, just near it, checking my phone, when this force of nature suddenly materialized beside me. She was a hurricane in a floral blouse with a face that looked permanently set to displeased. Before I could even register her presence, she barked, "Excuse me, sir, I need you to take my bags to gate 34, and make it snappy." My first thought was, sir, really, I'm in a hoodie, she's got a full-on, I demand to speak to the manager vibe, and she's already ordering me around. I looked around, half expecting to see an actual airport employee for her to accost. Nope, just me. I briefly considered doing what any normal person would, saying, "Ma'am, I don't work here." But then a mischievous little imp in my brain whispered, "What if you did?" I was bored, my flight was delayed, and this woman was already giving off main character energy. So I decided to lean in. With a perfectly neutral expression, I picked up her two surprisingly heavy suitcases. "Gate 34, you say?" I asked, my voice flat. "Yes, and don't dilly-dally," she snapped, practically vibrating with impatience. I nodded slowly, then set off at a brisk, purposeful pace. Not a run, but definitely faster than the average traveler strolling to their gate. I could hear her heels clicking rapidly behind me, a desperate staccato trying to keep up. I didn't look back, just kept my eyes fixed on the signs for gate 34, a small, smug smile playing on my lips. This was already way more entertaining than my in-flight movie. About halfway there, I heard her huffing and puffing, her steps growing more frantic. Then her voice, raspy now, pierced the terminal's hum. "I'm not going to tell you this again." I paused just for a beat, letting the absurdity hang in the air. She hadn't actually told me anything specific since the initial demand, just issued various commands and general grumbles. I turned my head slightly, just enough to catch her betrayed face, straining to keep pace. "Oh, good," I replied, my tone utterly devoid of emotion, because I haven't heard it the first time. Her face went from betrayed to a shade of puce I didn't know existed. Veins started to throb at her temples. She let out a frustrated sound somewhere between a shriek and a growl, but I just kept walking. The internal laugh track in my head was deafening. This was pure gold. Finally, we reached gate 34. She was practically sprinting by this point, sweat beading on her forehead. As I set her bags down by the boarding desk, she didn't even acknowledge me. Instead, she rounded on the actual gate agent, a lovely woman named Sarah. I glanced at her name tag. "Took him long enough," she screeched, jabbing a finger in my direction. "And now I need a better seat. He was supposed to get my bags here sooner." Sarah, bless her patient soul, looked from the red-faced woman to me, then back again. Her eyes twinkled with a knowing amusement that told me she'd seen this show before, or at least pieced it together instantly. She picked up her microphone, a polite, almost serene smile on her face. "Ma'am, is this passenger causing you a problem?" she asked, her gaze firmly on me, a subtle emphasis on passenger. The woman, still fuming, completely missed the nuance. "He absolutely is." He was incredibly slow and rude. Sarah's smile widened. She looked at me, a silent question passing between us. I met her gaze and gave a tiny, almost imperceptible nod. "Sir," Sarah addressed me, her voice ringing clearly over the gate area speakers, "would you like to deny boarding to this individual for creating a disturbance and harassing a fellow passenger?" Oh, that beautiful, glorious question. The power felt intoxicating. The woman gasped, her jaw dropping. Her angry sputtering died in her throat. "Yes," I said, my voice calm and firm, cutting through the sudden silence. "Yes, I would." The woman let out an indignant shriek. "You can't, he doesn't even work here." Sarah's serene smile didn't waver. Indeed, he doesn't, ma'am, which makes your harassment of him and now me all the more disruptive. Security will be with you shortly. She was already making a call, her free hand reaching for a denied boarding form. The woman's face was a magnificent, horrifying shade of purple as she watched security guards approach. I just gave Sarah a grateful nod, picked up my own carry-on and walked onto the plane, leaving the screaming Karen to her fate. As I settled into my seat, a wave of profound satisfaction washed over me. Sometimes you just gotta play along to win. Best delay ever.
This next one might just be your new favorite.